Hi, my name is Carl Pearson, and as you can tell, I'm my own camera person for this video. I have a topic which I think will be of interest to anyone who has ever owned a small business in the United States, and that is my proposal to have a statute passed. And I call this proposal my first, that is, I call the proposal the first 3 are free. And by that I mean that anyone, you, me, any person in business in America should have the right to hire up to 3 employees other than the business owner or business owner's family, without any rules, regulations, statutes, requirements, insurance, payroll deductions, or anything. And if the government wants to regulate, let the 1, 2, or 3 employees go to the post office every week at their expense and at the government expense, and let any compliance be done in that fashion to free up small business so that it's free to create jobs in America instead of being tied up with all sorts of nonsense rules and regulations. If you'll think about it for a minute, the first 3 employees of the smallest businesses in America, the millions of small business people, add up to nothing. There really is no money there for the government to take, but they force us to pay so much in regulation that it prevents people from hiring in order to avoid the costs, because the value of the employee is often less than the cost of compliance. And this is something that needs to be cured, but of course the major businesses in America don't want to give small business a break. After all, small business is only creating all the new jobs in the country, whereas the largest corporations are shedding jobs and sending our employment over to other countries. We ought to rethink our policy, a very simple thing to do that would create millions, I estimate 10 million new jobs in America. That is, I made the estimate before the current financial crisis. I haven't taken that into account. I'm not sure what it means. In fact, it might even improve the number of jobs that'll be created beyond 10 million. But we ought to have the first 3 are free and be totally free of all regulation, except of course that you can't beat the employee over the head with a steel bat. But other than that, there shouldn't be OSHA, there shouldn't be withholding, there shouldn't be insurance, there shouldn't be other requirements, reporting requirements. We should be free to have 3 employees without all the added burden, which has stifled the economy and prevented the creation of jobs in America. So this is my proposal. The government, if it wishes to collect a few cents from the least paid small business employees in America, let them set up a window at the post office and demand that the employee show up there and fill out whatever forms and pay over the 3 pennies to the government, and the government would soon go out of business, as it already seems to be doing, by having such onerous requirements. Let the government pay the costs, and of course any right-thinking person in government would not do that, but of course, do we have right-thinking people in government? I have another plan for payroll, which is different from this, and I'm only going to allude to it in an overall discussion of a basic plan for prosperity that I have for any town, village, or small city in the United States. And it's a 4-part program, one of which relates to payroll. I'll cover that last. It's of the least importance. The first thing is to create, within 2 months, a low tuition or tuition-free equivalency college in a town or a village, where the residents can be brought up to date with modern instruction which shows them how to deal with the present economy, websites, marketing, and the like, so that it makes them competitive on a worldwide basis, and particularly in the United States. If we do that, we can have all the residents be given this free college education. That'll be a highly relevant college education. Number 2, I've created a marketplace that's going to replace the job marketplace. I see jobs diminishing for various reasons that are too complex to discuss here, but the result is that we have a need for more and more people to become self-employed, and the way of doing that is to have a task marketplace, something which I have created in a website that I call myclads.com, and here is the website. And you might also look at the other two websites that I have, which are spelled out here for you. And here I go into these issues. So my four-part program, I've mentioned the third item is to appoint a town attorney general who will then enforce the rights of the residents and the small businesses, because these rights have gone unattended. Since the days of the Nixon administration up to the present, we have not been enforcing the rights of people. It's always been for the corporations to take more and more, the big corporations, but they've been taking it from the people and from the towns and villages, putting us in a state of poverty, and the town attorney general should have been there to enforce these laws, which were not being enforced by the officials and the agencies at the federal and the state level. We just didn't have law enforcement, and as a result, our economy has been stolen from the people. The town attorney general now is needed to help get it back and to make sure that it doesn't get stolen again. And finally, I have a payroll administration for a town on an area-wide basis, so that all the small businesses and even households that hire domestics such as babysitters, gardeners, and cooks will have an easy way to comply with these onerous tax requirements of payroll deduction and the like, and to do so through a single administrator and to share the costs equitably. And this is the best way to increase employment, actually, because it makes employment easier for small business if we have that kind of joint payroll administration. So all of that is set forth in my elections issue website, which I show you right here. You can have that 4-point program for prosperity of your town, village, or small city. And anyone interested, it's a no-fee deal for me. This is strictly done, no profit, I'm not even seeking expense reimbursement. I want to help bring prosperity to towns and villages throughout the country. Please give me a call and let's activate your local officials to do something, because it's very important. Self-help, a grassroots approach is what we need. Don't rely upon bailouts and stimulus, because it's not going to happen. There's no check that's going to be written to your town or village or county. We're going to have to do it ourselves. This is a valid program, the only real program that makes sense, and it's something that you could have thought of yourself if you had thought as long about it as I have. So please give me a call. Once again, my website for this is electionissues.us.com. Don't forget the dashes. And please give me a call if you're interested. Thank you.